Okay, so we're going to do a quick wrap up as well. So at first, thanks to Mr. Huang Kun to do the opening, to invite everybody to explore in the AI stage. And also we thanks to Mary to give us an example about the AI usage. I got scared when she mentioned about there is a digital employee sending reports every Friday afternoon. Yeah. And after that, and also the last panel will talk about AI in the digital banking. So for our panel, probably we'll focus from the different perspective because our panelists, like the Pak is from Thailand and Dr. Yun is from Singapore. Well, Mr. Jeff is from Malaysia. So we're from the different region perspective. And also they are from the different backgrounds. So Pak is an entrepreneur and also focus on ESG. Well, Dr. Yunjia used to work from Murex. And also he has founded many companies before. And Dr. Yunjia also a PhD in both NUS and MIT. So this more focused on marketing side. Well, Mr. Jeff used to work for Standard Chartered Bank, the AM Bank, as well as the ANZ Bank, and now is a fintech consultant. So actually, it's quite a good mix of different perspective. So without further ado, probably I will first let all the panelists do a quick self-introduction and also mention about your business, how it's related to AI. Yeah, Mr. Pak, please.
Yes, my name is Pak from Thailand, and our company is called Codium. We focus primarily on ESG. And how my company is related to AI is that I just found out the technical term for this, but we are building the agentic AI for accounting. In other words, my company is paying about $20,000 for accounting, and our goal is to get this down to zero, meaning that we will fully automate how we do accounting. And not to also mention that traditionally in Thailand, how B2Bs do invoicing, they rely on humans. We will automate all of this so that the whole finance and accounting process actually is fully automated. And if you don't believe me, you can come check out at our company Q4 this year. I always believe that dog fooding is the best way to test out a product. And we'll roll out to Thailand next year.
Okay, cool. Thanks. So, Dr. Yunjia.
This is Yunjia from Singapore. So what we are doing is we doing marketing. So we collaborate with most of the autonomous university in Singapore, and specifically in the Chinese area. And we found it's very important and useful that we put AI into the marketing, and to solve the first is very specific issues, just like the word Chinese, right? If you translate Chinese into Chinese, there's a lot of different expressions. It can be, let me say this in Chinese, it can be 中国人, 华人, 华侨, 华裔, 华族. If translated into language, it can be 中文, 华文, 汉语, 汉语言, and 华语, right? So this is only one word Chinese, but it's a lot of different translations, and actually so far, based on whatever model we test, it can be translated perfectly correct. And this also related to culture, related to even geopolitical issues, right? If you don't translate it in the right way. That is very specific questions. And then secondly is because my background is nanomaterial. It has nothing to do with marketing. So it's really an engineering, mindset. So when I firstly touched the marketing as a career, I try to understand the marketing in terms of an engineering way. So we try to solve the problem to achieve certain objective. Then we found we need to build up a workflow to really make it, especially in the Singapore scenario, is like it's not only one language. It's maybe need to have 10 languages, right? And it's not only one or three or four or five channels. It's maybe 10 plus channels to cover all the Southeast Asia, right? So this is quite a simple to perceive, but difficult to solve issues, which I believe can only be solved by AI, right? So that is what I'm doing, and this is why we want to work with Alibaba Cloud, especially on the Bailian platform, which is try to build up the agent and the multi-agent, so that we believe this might be the right way that currently available to solve the specific and the more general issues in my industry. Yeah.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jeff from Malaysia. I'm the founder of ATF Outflex. As a quick background, ATF Outflex is a service provider in digital transformation and system development. So our clients are mainly in the FSI industry. So most of the time we provide an entire squad, delivery squad, to deliver agile methodology for our clients to implement their blueprints.
Okay, thanks for all the panelists' introduction about themselves and also how the business related to AI. I think just now everybody was touched about the benefit of AI. As Peck mentioned about it's reduce the cost for accounting. Well, the Dr. Inja mentioned about AI can help them do the marketing, especially with translation. Well, Mr. Jeff talked about how this can streamline everything and also maybe on the banking industry as well. So this is some benefits because this panel will maybe talk about the security, right? So I got a question. So maybe first. The first one is when you, as a founder or like a consultant, when you consult to your clients, how do you evaluate the AI solution for them to implement? Yeah. So for example, which one you think is should go first? Yeah. So maybe we start with Mr. Peck.
Well, I think it's very important that we define what AI is, or at least according to my definition, it is automation with intelligence. Now, I think that for Thailand, the only thing that I can share with you is that when you walk into any big corporates, any companies in Thailand, you see a football field size of accountants and finance admins. So that's the criteria that we use to pitch to them why they should care about AI, because we can help them save the cost or the overhead that is about manpower. So I think the key thing is the cost, the overhead that has to do with how they currently transact and do all the finance processing. So that's where I talk to my clients. But how I approach delivering the real benefit of AI, I believe in it so much, I trust in it so much that I test it, or I dog food with my company first. And we set a very clear KPI. I mentioned about $20,000 per year. We plan to get that down to zero. As soon as I get that down to zero, we're coming. So we'll just share the success case study. We base our solution on, we worked with Alibaba on their platform as well. So that's how I get started.
Okay, thanks. I think Mr. Peck also touched about some local elements because the different country might have a different regulation scenario, also the manpower cost. So it's also will affect which area maybe start first, right? So what do you think of Dr. Injas?
Oh yeah. So once again, in Singapore, so government and all the organizations, they put a great effort on AI. They even have national schemes. They have a lot of funding and supporting schemes for companies, organizations to either develop AI solutions or adopt AI solutions. And the government actually spend a lot. And because we are a company in marketing, right? So when talk about let's say, for example, marketing in AI, we need to find a solution for ourselves first, so that we are able to better support our client or serve our clients. And we have a lot of communications with our clients. It's like what they are really need, right? So they use different types of AI tools or whatever things, right? They already increase certain efficiency. But once to talk about solution, they do lack of data, tool, and help, right? Data, how we can use AI to really empower the businesses. Like for this round, we get some data. For the next round, we use the previous data to train the model so that we increase the efficiency. That is how data uses, right? Let's say, for example, when you design a pictures, right? You get a requirement, you get a final deliverables, but all the process to get the requirement to the deliverables are missing. This kind of data is not even saved to train for the next round. That is first. The second is tour, right? People use different kinds of tour to generate a write-up, to generate the pictures, right? But they cannot link them together easily to really achieve a relatively big goal. Let's say we get today it's a marketing campaign. My company also helped the other company doing this, right? So let's say these logos, all this, everything's right. They need a whole workflow, right, to achieve a bigger goal, not only a one article or one picture, but how we can use a platform or a tour to really first, to achieve this. Second, to better serve for the next round of the second year of Yunqi Dahui. That's very important. So they need a tour. And thirdly, just like what Dr. Wang Yue in last session said, is like it's really lack of certain talent to really know the business and also know the AI, know the requirement, can translate the business requirement into tech requirement, and really solve it, right? Just like business analysis to a certain extent. So these three things actually hinder from big to small organizations to adopt the AI to their real business case. So it's like everybody is very excited, but at the end of the day, till now, it's still lack of things. Evidenced by the translation company is still alive today, which we believe should be die very soon after GPT release, right? It's still alive. So just like what I mentioned, the Chinese have 10 translations, right? So translation companies still have business. That is, so what we want to do is work with Alibaba to really provide all this, a tour, solutions, and how we can really save, polish, clean, and empower for the next round by using, when we're using the things, right?
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Yunjia. I think Dr. Yunjia brought up a very important point, is AI is still a tool. And for most of the scenarios, probably you cannot use it directly. You still need the kind of process optimization or partner deployment or so on and so forth. So I think that's also where just now we mentioned about where Alibaba Cloud appreciates all the partners to develop their solution and the services together with us to help all the enterprise, no matter it's small or big, to adopt the AI and really according to their business needs, right? So what do you think on top of that, Mr. Jeff?
Well, I'm from the FSI theory background, so FSI, a lot of compliance, regulations and all this. So there are a lot more areas that we need to focus at most of the time, right? So when we come to like implementing advanced technologies like AI use cases and all this, right? So what I can say, I can probably share some of the focus areas that I have been like concluding and learn along the way when we're exploring and consulting our client in the FSI field, right? So firstly, I think we focus very much in data privacy, right? So we need to always make sure the data, sensitive data is well protected, encrypted, and anonymized, right? So then secondly, we also need to think about when we're using AI, we actually have a better bias mitigation, because as we know, AI is being trained with data. So how to make sure the importance of having a diverse and balanced data set to apply on the training of the AI to avoid the AI unintentionally being biased because of the biased data. That's very important, right? Then thirdly, we also talk about the model security. AI model must be designed and able to handle a lot of adversarial attacks. To achieve that, we a lot of times need to test with a lot of manipulated inputs, right? Then we also talking about explainability. So how to make sure that the AI responses, their feedbacks, their recommendations is always transparent enough that they can able to detect potential misuse of it, right? So we must always able to explain why the rationale that the AI making such a recommendation for us to proceed the next flow, right? Then we also very focused on the secure API. We need to make sure that we harden all the communication channels. We need to make sure that we need to prevent that unauthorized access is not going to get into any integration points. Then we also frequently and continuously monitoring the system vulnerabilities and making sure that all the time we actually implement and updated all the security patches from time to time. So lastly, and also the most importantly, because FSI, we always have to make sure we compliance, we follow the legal. So we need to make sure that we aware the newest release on the regulators, on the guidelines. Yeah, that's basically what consolidate the focus areas that we need to work in the FSI delivery.
Sure, and thanks, Mr. Jeff. Because also let's bring us to the next part, which we want to focus, zoom in a little bit about the security, compliance, the issue behind the AI. Because the first part probably we discuss about what's the benefit of the AI, what are the scenario probably already used to improve the productivity. But with that, we still need to consider when we mass production and when we really into the enterprise usage, we will need to consider the compliance, data security, and also some of the other concerns. So the first question I want to throw to Dr. Yunjia. Okay, in real cases, do you see any security concern about AI, and how you deal with that?
Of course. So it's like from the day one, there is a huge concern of the security because AI is so powerful. So it's especially on the AI generation things, right? It can be wrong, can be misleading, can be misguided, can be, and it's very powerful. It can really produce so many contents within seconds, right? That is first, of course, and this can be partially or greatly, partially to solve it by, the model, when we train a model, when we use the model, when we use the, type of maybe agents to monitor it. This is one thing that we can partially solve it. And also the deep fake. This is also related to the content, right? So we already observed some of the, fake videos already, in the market, which have some negative impact of this. So people become more, suspect of the things, right? Whether they see is true or not. So this is another thing. And if you to the larger extent, this can be, because for right now, from my point of view, it's like we are still trying, there's always a two-sided blade, right? We are in this side. We are trying to create more contents before we try to control ourselves. So now the objective for us is to get more contents. And while this process, we'll definitely think about during the production of the content, how we can make sure it's right, it's not misleading. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Yunjia. So I think the deepfake is one of the key concerns about AI. I think just now Gary also mentioned about we do have some solution trying to tell whether it's a deepfake image or not, because that will mislead sometimes. So what Mr. Peck think about regarding this topic?
In regards to AI security, let me share with you the framework that not only applies to AI, but also just application in general. 3 things: digital identity, digital documents, and digital money. These form the core security basis because let's take deepfake, right? The problem is like, how do we authenticate that the person is really that person? In Thailand, we have digital identity framework now. So I imagine that one day Microsoft Teams, Zoom, Google Meet would allow us to see that the person that joins the call actually is authenticated. So that's the first one. I believe I don't have much time, so I'll just leave it at that. Digital identity, digital documents, digital money, these form the basis for, I think, the next generation for security. And the second one, even though we talk about security and we talk a lot about bad actors, hackers, and what have you, I think that we also have to take into account security against humans. In other words, how are you able to trust the very employees of your company, the directors of the company? What do I mean, right? Let's take the case of Enron, or right now, if you follow the stock market in Thailand, we're actually going through a crisis right now. Why? Because we have governance problem. So I'd like to tie in the security, guarding the system and the AI against the very owner itself, and also how do we use technology like AI or digital solutions to help enforce governance of the company. In other words, protect the company from itself. So in all, I just want to say that when we talk about security, I don't want everyone to just think of, we have to protect against hackers, the bad actors. Sometimes it's the very people that work in the company.
Yeah, thanks to that. And most of the time, the technology moves faster than the compliance and legal. So that's also emphasized that we, like in the industry partners, should work together and come up with some of the framework to do that. Yeah.
And can I just add something very quickly? I'm actually also submitting a paper to SEC of Thailand. We talked a lot about compliance. We talk a lot about regulators. And I'm sure it's different in other countries, but in Thailand, believe it or not, the SEC actually is calling for papers on how to raise the security standard, how to help with governance. And again, I don't have much time, but we have some ideas, and it's related to agentic AI. I truly believe that the future of accounting is actually humanless. That's how you can enforce integrity and also enforce governance, because we have to protect ourselves against ourselves, right? So I'd like to add to that I'm not waiting for the regulators. We want to share with them to show them how we can achieve better governance.
Cool, thanks. And how about Mr. Jeff? Do you want to show some lights from the Malaysia perspective and your own experience from the banking perspective on that?
Well, sure. I think in FSI mostly we're talking about penetration tests, but I think in the benefit of this forum, I probably can bring it more on what I observe in the market. I think nowadays the threats we're facing in the market, we can say we have phishing, we have ransomware, we have data breaches, we also have insiders threats, right? So when we come to phishing, where commonly the hackers, the attackers tricks the people to share, to give away their sensitive information. So AI can come to a point where it can early, when it comes to phishing. So, sorry, this is not. So when it comes to phishing, where it tricks the people to share the sensitive information, AI can actually try to
fake everything? It's okay. So I think so all the panelists mentioned about the different perspective, and we also talk about the pros and cons, and also some of the security concern and innovation part. And even at the Alibaba Cloud side, on one hand, we do have an innovation alliance. We work on all the cutting edge, including the AI. On the other hand, we also have the security and also other solution, trying to find the right way to adopt it. So we hope to get everybody to join our ecosystem so we can work together on that. So with time constraint, I want to have the last question to all of you. So we come back to the implementation. So what is your suggestion to the founders or the C-levels to balance the innovation opportunity and the risk for the adoption to support their business transformation and growth? Yeah. Maybe Spec.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just two keywords. Speaking as a founder, the biggest risk is actually not getting started. We run businesses. We have to, be careful of the cost. I believe AI represents cost cutting or cost optimization. That's number one. And in terms of security, it's actually very simple. We've already got the best asset for security. What is it? Humans. In other words, the way that we implement agentic AI, we do not want to replace humans entirely. How we get started is that we build it as a co-pilot. My finance team, they're busy all day. How do we help save their manpower? And why do I say that human is the best security? It's because we are afraid that the AI will do something that it shouldn't be doing, right? But if you have humans as the filter, as the guardrail, then you get the best of both worlds. You get the automation and you get the security in one go. So I think that the time to start is now. The cost of technology adoption is highly affordable. My company is a small company. We can afford it. Why can't you? First, that's the first one. And secondly, I believe that the best security, I mean, we have all the IT tools that can help with security, but I believe that human is the best security because it's what you already have currently. So that's how I get started.
Thank you.
Yeah, from my, actually the question is always my pitch point is for all the organizations and the companies, the very first thing you can think about to use AI significantly is marketing. Because, marketing material is the thing that you want to, the more the better, right? And it's not considered sensitive data. So the risk level for marketing things are very low, considerably low, especially, let's say, for bank, for financial industries, right? So we recently is trying to initiate a collaboration with the banks, right? So they have a very specific requirement to start the AI things only first for internally. Second, don't touch any business data, all the customer data. Just use the public data to do the AI. So what is like so that is definitely the marketing. So, and especially for us, it's in Southeast Asia, we have multi-race, multicultural, multi-language. And for all the companies, if you want to have a good day in Southeast Asia, you need, it doesn't matter to B, to C, to G, or to, business model, you need a marketing or branding. So that is the thing you really need to put effort in. And once we have a considerable milestone with Alibaba and Baidian. So I hope we can provide such solutions, right, to cater for most of the organizations in this area. Yeah, we have the confidence.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Mr. Jeff?
Yeah, so I guess in the FSI field, we mostly still have to be compliant, always follows the regulation from the regulators. And I guess more and more release of the guidelines will be released from the regulators. And aside of that, the security is always important to make sure that data is well protected. Yeah.
Okay, thanks to all the panelists. I want just to use 1 minute to sum up a little bit. So as our CEO and Eddie mentioned yesterday, actually AI is not impacting the software. It will impact the physical world as well. So it is a trend you cannot deny. So on the one hand, we have an innovation alliance. We have the partner, like all the panelists and everybody here. So we want to adopt a new technology, improve the productivity. On the other hand, we also trying to use, as Pak mentioned about our humans intelligence, as well as partners, some security solutions to make it at the right way, to make it compliance work for the human and society. So do stay with us in the whole innovation ecosystem and check it out with all our colleagues at the back if you want to explore how to adopt AI to improve your productivity. And let's give a round of applause to all our panelists. Thank you.
Thank you, James. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.